I speak the truth and everybody knows. When you press play, it's educational. They wanna shut me down with their fucking po-po. Restrict me from their radios. They still hear me on the resto. Want 5%, but they still said no. Plug your ears.
So are we rolling?
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're rolling, man. All right, so welcome to the Q-Niverse, man. It's the first time we're jumping into this crazy place. It's an idea that I've been talking about for a while, but Frank has been pushing a lot harder than me just talking about it. So
Yeah, because you've been talking a lot on Facebook, and I thought it was like you needed somewhere else to talk than Facebook.
yeah. So yeah. He's always kind of like pushing me in the ass for a lot of things. The same thing when we do shows. We go out on tour and we do shows here and there. And sometimes Frank is playing the ones and twos for me when we're out on stage. And I always like leave my merch home.
Yeah.
I never bring it. And he's like, all right, dude, bring it and I'll take care of it, because people are looking for the merch. I just have a hard time charging people at the show extra because they already pay to come in, and I kind of feel bad, but I know they want the product as
They
well.
want the merch.
Yeah. So I put it at affordable prices, and then he kicks it back up a little bit to, regular prices.
Yeah.
And this is the way it goes. So what I do, though, to compensate for that is I throw out free merch here and there because...
he's like, here, buy a shirt, you get 2 free shirts.
So that's what we do a lot. So it's going to be an interesting ride. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, he's just digging through the trenches in the back of me. I don't know what he's up to.
Oh, I think he's getting a mic stand there to get his mic set up.
Yeah, so here we are in the show. I think we're going to have a good time. So in my regular universe, my day-to-day, I'm sort of like mixed up in everything for a long time. So I'm in business. I've been in politics. I'm still dabbling in politics. And I think that's something once you put your feet into, your feet always remain sort of in the corridor if you're not right in the room. So I still, I'm always around when it comes to politics. Obviously, I'm doing music, and I'm involved in script writing for some television series and some movies, some docu-series, different things like that. Some other projects on the way as well, even working in a musical. So, but before all of that craziness, I'm a dad. So I've got 5 sons. And I've brought into my house my niece and one of my nephews. So 7 kids to run around after. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty crazy. My wife and I are always busy. That is for sure. And so I thought it would be right to for the first show in the Q-Niverse have one of my sons on the show, and that's Chaimber. So welcome to the show, Chaim.
Thanks for having me here. I'm excited to get to talking about the different topics that we have lined up. Seems like it's going to be interesting. Seems like it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think we're going to talk about a few other things. I'm really interested in a lot of things you're doing too, and I think it's interesting for other people to hear too. I think we should start by mentioning, sending some love and some thoughts and prayers to some of the communities in the last few weeks who've been really, really having to deal with some tough issues on the East Coast, in Tobic and Subanagadi. There's communities there that there was just some young men shot dead by the RCMP, which seems to be one of their tendencies nowadays for quite some time. We've always had problems with the RCMP, and if we look back onto it, that's pretty much what their whole mandate was since day one of the RCMP. They're not very good with Indigenous people, and we don't see a lot of it in the mainstream medias, and it's a shame because obviously we see what's happening in Minneapolis and in the U.S. right now, and there's been many outcries because ICE is doing the same thing, murdering their own people, in cold blood. But the difference is there's like a movement to stop that, And over here in Canada, you don't even hear about it.
No.
You
You just have the first page, first news, and then...
If that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that. if that.
Chaimber and I were talking about it at home the other day in the corridor. And, it's like, man, did you hear about the last shootings? And he's like, again? This is what happens all the time, So we got to, I think everybody has a responsibility to sort of talk about it a little bit, and bring awareness, because the media is just shutting it down. It's insane. And it's scary, especially, like I said, I got 5 boys and my nephew, okay? That's 6 boys, and boys are always like under the gun, the RCMP's gun, right? In the scope. So it's scary when you have young Indigenous boys, because you don't know what they're going off to face all the time, So it's scary for every parent out there. I think that our communities are capable of taking care of ourselves, policing ourselves, and providing those services. And I think the most important thing that communities can do right now is keep the RCMP away from our own people, because it's not normal that you call somebody for a wellness check.
You end up dead.
And they shoot the fucking person that they're meant to be checking up on.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
No sense at all. So, we got to talk about it and try and demand some change. It's got to change, right? And I know it's hard to talk about sometimes, especially in communities. And I'm going to say it, and a lot of people don't want to say it a lot of times in the communities, is we paint a picture that we're solidarity, we're holding hands and we take care of each other. And there's a lot less of that in the last years, like I would say the last 20 years, it's gotten a lot more rough in the communities with the lateral violence. I blame that on the changes in the election systems. When I was growing up in Gesgapegiag, throughout the 80s and the 90s, nominations would be on Saturday, okay? And then 1 week later, the following Saturday would be the elections, and you had your new chief and council for the next couple of years. So you only had 1 week to really get at each other in your campaign mode, So all of the bad talking, the shit talking, all of the, there was fights, there was parties, there was all of those things. But in 1 week, it was wrapped up, people shook hands, and it was over with after.
Yeah, they didn't have time to escalate. And
they don't have enough time to cause enough damage to the point where some bonds are irreparable.
Irreparable.
Yeah. We forgot the word, but too much time to really harm one another.
Yeah, well, from your experience as a kid, growing up, seeing me in politics, having to listen to the banter, but you have to listen to it for like 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Until the election is over. But it's never over after that. Because if you talk shit about somebody for 2 months straight, and it's different, right? We never had social media when we were growing up. So we talked that shit, and you had to come face to face with people, and you either backed it up or you apologized, right? Yeah. But nowadays it's different. People just flock to social media and talk all the crap they want, create all the stories they want, and they don't care what the repercussions are as long as they get in power. Mm-hmm. So the level of lateral violence is so much more intense. It's insane. So, then it makes it difficult for young fellas when they have parents that are in politics, in a small community like that, because you got to hear that stuff all along.
Yeah.
So you know what it is.
I experienced it. Mm-hmm. As even when we go back time to time, you're like, oh, did you hear this person did so-and-so or that person did so? So it's like, yeah, you hear it, and then it's, you can do just hear everyone talking shit for months on end. Fuck you gonna do after that? It's that the damage is done, and can't really repair it after that unless you go and you apologize. You try and rebuild those bridges. But a lot of the time, when election season, you're back on the community. It's such a small community. The moment you say something, everyone already knows, and especially with social media now that process is expedited. Now, you say something or you talk trash, everyone knows right away. And that just either one thing, they'll go talk to you in private about it, like, hey, what are you doing that? Or they'll talk badly back against you to everyone else. And without actually confronting the person you're talking bad about, you just decide to start spreading rumors to everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes it tough. And like you said, it's really hard to repair that. Those are burnt bridges that are not easy to rebuild. But we do have no choice but to find a way to reconnect you know, in the communities because it's gotten way out of hand. Like I go back into my community now, there's people that I just don't even talk to anymore, you know? And then there's some people that, you know, will always have that love. It's different. Like when I see the people who are my age, you know, like all the guys my age, most of my friends growing up were political adversaries. You know what I mean? Just different families, different clans, whatever. We still played street hockey. We still had beers together. We still went fishing together. We still went clubbing and did all that crazy stuff together because the period of damage was so limited, you know, that we were able to just reconnect. It was like, shake hands. Okay. You know, it's just, that's why I think we were so good at, like, we could fight with each other. Good friends, punch each other in the face, shake hands, laugh about it, and keep drinking. You know, not a problem. You know, but nowadays it's different because they're digging deep and they want to talk about your dead relatives. Yeah. They want to talk about things that are so far back and stories that are so far-fetched, you know? And I'm not innocent, you know, in a lot of that because I've participated in it because that's what happens when you're defending yourself, you know? Somebody says this, you say that. Someone hits you with this, you hit them back with that. It's what happens, but it just never stops. So I think that if we can come to terms with each other within our own communities, this whole talk of truth and reconciliation with federal governments or provincial governments, fuck that shit, okay? Because you can't have reconciliation with your neighbors, like your provincial neighbors, if you can't have reconciliation inside of your own community. With your neighbors, you know? So once you're able to get some reconciliation done with inside of our own communities, maybe we can start talking about reconciliation and repairing other bridges with the province or with the federal government. But the federal government and the province are the ones that are throwing in the weapons most of the time to make us fight with each other.
Yeah, because if you fight with each other, not gonna
fight against them. If we're fighting with one another, we can't fight against the government.
You're losing time fighting.
Yeah.
Especially now, you know, with the killings of the RCMP, you know, now more than ever, we need to be standing, you know, as one. We have to be standing together. And so it's more important, I'd say now than ever, that we need to start, you know, rebuilding those bridges within the community. You need to start actually acting like a community. If you want to call yourself a community, you have to actually start acting like it. And I believe now more than ever, it's important to actually start acting like a community. You know, just because you have a problem with someone, be the bigger person, put it aside to face the bigger issue. Don't let that one personal problem you have with someone blind you and cast everything aside just to spite that person instead of facing the bigger issue that you should be working on. And right now, that's facing what the RCMP has done and has been doing to Indigenous people since it was founded, since the RCMP was created.
Oh, yeah, and that's so true. You know, we gotta stand up, stand together, and move forward. And the sooner we can do that, you know, the sooner we're going to be able to start winning battles on higher levels, you know. But right now it's so difficult. It's so difficult to talk about unity. It's hard to talk about even nationhood, you know. That's another big topic that at some point, just in Gesgapegiag, we need to talk about. You know, with the 3 Mi'kmaq communities there, we've worked together in order to have this huge wind farm of 150 megawatts about 20 years ago. And it's, you know, generated revenues for the communities, but it's sitting and not actually serving the people in the community at the moment because the political bodies can't come to terms with each other, you know? And this is problematic because our people need help in so many ways. And the only way we're going to really save our communities and make things better within our communities is by generating our own source revenues to put into the places that need the help ourselves. Because anytime we get a penny from the government, it has to be reported somehow. It's got to be through some program. Now, obviously, like I said,
the wait is long.
The wait is long,
like
and
fill papers.
Yeah, and people don't realize, like in a community, like it's not easy to be chief and council.
No problem.
I don't care who's in those seats. It's not easy.
Yeah.
I support my chief and council, even when I don't agree with them. You know, when it comes to that, look, we need to find a way to make things work. And I know damn well how it works. The government puts this purse in the middle of the table with all of these communities, 40 some communities around the province. And, you know, everybody's battling to get that purse. So nobody's sharing information. Gesgapegiag doesn't know what Listigoj is doing. Listigoj don't know what Gesgapegiag is doing. Vice versa with Gespeg and every other community around. Because if you're getting these revenues through the programs that you're putting in place, that means you're doing something right. But if you give that information to another community, they're going to have access to that funds too. So they have us fighting over crumbs. We're so busy doing that we can't really address the big issues. So we have to come to terms and find a way to work together, you know? So, you know, and it gets really complicated. I know that's a big book, but we have to find a way, first of all, to at least act like a community, you know, and work together. I've put my weapons down, you know? I ain't fighting my own people no more. I ain't doing that. I'm so sick of that. I just want to be able to move forward. I want people in my community to do better because I want to see our kids doing better, you know? And if you give them the opportunity to do well, and if you prioritize what's best for them, you're going to have good results, you know? But you have to put them first. And putting your children first means that you got to tuck it up, suck it up a little bit, stop fucking fighting with people in your own community, you know? It just doesn't make sense, you know? I see my boys, they're all doing very well. You know, I push them in education pretty hard. And, you know, then I expect them to make some good career choices. Chaimber, you can talk on that.
So just say what I'm doing at the moment then, I imagine? So at the moment,
say a little bit about everything you've done and don't downplay it. I mean, you're strong in high school.
BCS. Well, it's thanks to you and Mom for, you know, moving us out here and, you know, I was fortunate enough where you guys were able to send me there, so I was able to gain the ability to, do anything, honestly. That school has equipped me so well for life and to do anything. With the programs they had, the sports, I remember playing the rugby, the hockey there, not the senior league hockey there, the rugby. Just learning to work as a team from the sports. Not only that, the different projects, you learn how to... Just in high school, you're learning how to do things that you would normally learn at a university level, cite your sources, do all that. But not only that's the academic stuff, but the life stuff is what I want to talk more about, the way it helped me. Like I said, those sports, you learn how to work as a team, you learn how to network, you learn how to make connections to really, you know, hey, listen, in sports, you fuck up, your teammate will call you out on it, you know? It's something, it's criticism that you learn to take with a grain of salt. You learn to accept that, and instead of arguing over it, you're like, all right, that's on me, I messed up. Thanks for telling me. But it's also on your teammate for not just saying, hey, look, you fucked up. It's say, hey, you messed up. This is how you could fix it in the future, or maybe do this next time. You know, it's a positive atmosphere that helps prepare you for dealing with negative situations in life. When most of the time, stuff's not going to go right. BCS helped me learn how to deal with that, how to manage and not doing that. So going through that, BCS, at the moment, I'm studying to become a carpenter. I'm done in 12 school days, and then I'll be an apprentice, first year apprentice.
Oh, congrats.
And I'm so happy that I've gone through BCS, because that helped me gain the knowledge to be like, all right, you know, there's a stigma when it comes to the trades, stuff like that. And it's like, oh, you know, if you're in the trades, you must not have been good enough to go to university. Or, hey, listen, you know, if you're in the trade, you know, you most likely don't have your high school diploma. You had nowhere else to go. That's not true. Well, obviously, you know, there may be a grain of truth in that, but it's not the only case. I'm in carpentry because it's what I love. Looking at my options, I like to work with my hands. I like to be active, and it's honestly, I am so happy that I'm choosing this. You know, because there's been, you know, back in the day, there's a paradigm shift from going into trades into going into higher education, going into universities, stuff like that. You know, go into business, go into psychology, go into engineering. There's that shift, you know, with the generation, like, all right, you know, enough with the trades. It's time we have to go to university. That's the goal. Go to university. After high school, university. And for the longest time, that's what I thought as well. All up until my final year of high school, in my grade 12 year, right when university applications were coming up due, I still didn't know what I wanted to do in uni. I didn't even know if I wanted to go to uni. It didn't feel right for me. And that's when finally I'm like, you know, university isn't the only option after high school. That's when I realized I can just as much go into a trade. And I had to break that kind of mentality I had on it, be like, all right, like just because I completed the BCS high school, I have my New Brunswick diploma. I went through the IB program. I have my IB diploma. Just because I did all that doesn't mean I have to go to university. It doesn't make me any less intelligent for going into a trade, and that's something that BCS helped me with, and just life. Learning to differentiate between education and intelligence. Just because you have this level of education doesn't necessarily mean you're the smartest person there.
Right.
Someone who may not have even finished their high school diploma, if they still pursued, their what they were interested in and their own hobbies, reading their books on whatever they mean, whether it's biology, physics, chemistry, it doesn't matter. You can still be intelligent without having to go through university. And so that was really something I had to kind of come to terms with, and kind of adapt my head around, all right, I can still do this. So now I'm in carpentry, and I love it. I feel well equipped with my life skills to be able to do whatever. After carpentry, I want to become a wildland firefighter in BC. So I feel
that's cool.
I feel completely confident to tackle any obstacle that comes in my way, and I believe that is through the education, but also the support I was given by my parents. And I believe that's why it's so important to tie it all the way back to community, like we were talking about, because as a community, it's not necessarily just your parents that have to support you, that have to uplift you.
Everybody.
It's like I said, it takes a village to raise a child. And honestly, that couldn't be more true. As a community, if you see someone else's kid do something they shouldn't, if you want to say that you're part of a community and for it to be true, you'll correct that behavior, or you'll let the parents hey, they were doing this, they were doing this, let them know. And so then they will correct that action, and they'll help correct the behavior that they shouldn't have been doing. That's why it's so important to have that support system and have that community, and why it's important to, if you have a problem with someone's parent, right? Put your pride to the side, suck it up. You need to display yourself as if you're an adult, act that way, act mature, be mature, know when it's time to say, all right, I need to take a step back here. I need to put my personal feelings to the side and acknowledge that, all right, this is the issue we're currently facing. All right. Screw all that personal stuff. That's personal. So therefore take care of it on a personal level. Right now it's time to act together and to tackle this issue. And that's why I believe it's both a sense of community and education that's so important, and what we really need to be able to go against what's happening to Indigenous people, whether it be the missing murdered Indigenous women, whether it be the opioid epidemic that's sweeping the country, not only reservation, but the country, but reservations especially are Indigenous youth targeted, especially because we're addictive personalities. We're more susceptible to addiction than others. But that's a long range of intergenerational trauma. It'll have that happen.
And it's something.
Those are great points.
I come from a super busy city, and I go on some reservation, and I'm like, if I wouldn't have support there, I'd probably go down on the bottle, or I'll find something to do,
Sometimes it's really tough. It's hard. It's hard to find that balance, and finding that balance is important. And I think that's one thing we work pretty hard at on several levels, right? Standing up for your community and whatnot. Since my children were young, they're out protesting. We travel. We travel. There's photos of Chaimber just being a little boy holding these big signs and whatnot. So,
I remember it, and I was happy to be there.
Absolutely, because you got to. So you got to teach people. Our warriors are so much different today. So there was a time where we had to teach kids how to, just throw that arrow, or a spear, or wield a knife or something. Because that's how war was won. But everything has changed now, and warriors now carry, knowledge. They have education. They're aware of things. Those are the ways that we can win battles now. It's through education, because if we try and fight like the old warriors, they throw us in jail.
More power with knowledge.
So it's so important to be out there. It's important to be aware of the issues that are going on, all of the things that are happening, and getting involved, but getting involved wisely, right? So there's no time where I've ever taken my kids out, boots on the ground at a protest and had them, do something crazy.
Yeah.
I've never had them throw rocks or do stuff like that.
Throw them in a fire.
Yeah. What's most important is being present. And it's an issue right now. That's I see it all the time because you're always going to see me involved. And sometimes you're not even going to know that I'm at a protest, but I'm still going to be there. But I see a lot of performative, activists. And that's a problem, that's an issue. Because they don't really have a sense of exactly what's going on. No. They just want to get likes on a Facebook post or on an Instagram post or whatever. You know what I mean? It's all about likes.
I was there.
But how often are there? I mean, how many times have you been with me at a protest? We've been to a couple of marches now, right?
A few. But I met everybody through I don't know more back in the days and just because there was no reason not to be there, it's
that's right. But I know some people who talk real loud, as if they're really concerned, who live 30 minutes away, who don't show up. And some of these people have a platform.
They expect you to be there.
That's right. But I'm there. I'll travel hours. There's been times where we're living in the Gesgapegiag and we've arranged to have bus loads of people brought to Ottawa. Okay. Look, we will show up, and this is what I try and teach my kids: is to make sure that they're there, they're present. Be smart, be safe, but be present. It's important. So when I hear somebody saying, "Oh, well, I couldn't because I was a little sore," get off your ass. Come on, man. I walk around with 4 steel rods and 16 screws in my fucking spine. And I still show up. I still show up. So it's inexcusable in my mind.
I just learned recently you're made of 25% metal.
I'm full of titanium. That's what people don't know. I've had several surgeries and whatnot, and they still haven't been able to shut my mouth, So, but that, the talking back to on the education part and supporting your kids, it's really important. I realize not everybody can put their kids in private school. I understand that. But there's other options. There's other things you can do to make sure that they're in school, at least make sure they're getting in school. Make sure that the standards are met. Call for it and be active in your community. Support your schools. Support the school in your community.
People expect the school to do everything now.
It's not just a place for babysitters, and it's really, really important. And the world is competitive. I was fortunate to have support from my folks in order to move on in life because I am a dropout. I dropped out of school. So I had to grind super hard, always self-educating, you know what I mean? Always finding more. And I work in all these crazy fields that are a lot of fun, So people ask me all the time, well, how did you manage to do that? So I don't stop. I don't stop working,
You want to do it, you're going to do it.
I believe I can. And if you have that belief, but that belief in myself also comes from my parents, So my father believed he could do anything. And that's, and when we're talking about, education.
Where it started often, your parents, the first one to tell you can do that.
If you have the support and you're not constantly criticizing, you have to give your kids a kick in the ass now and then. You have to do it. And that's just the way it is. But my folks helped me at least believe. And my grandfather, my great-grandfather on my mom's side gave me the hardest kicks in the ass. Holy jeez, he was an old Irishman from, New Ipswich, New Hampshire. And because my mom is American. A lot of people don't realize. A lot of times when I'm talking shit about what's happening in the U.S. and people tell me to mind my business, it is my business. I am an American citizen as well. I have my citizenship, motherfucker. I've gone to school there. I've worked there, I've got family that's in the military. My little brother was a U.S. Marine, On my mom's side of the family, they're all military boys, they're servicemen. So I think I have the right to share my opinion, and I still have family that lives there, so I continue to do so.
Of course. And even, people here, they're allowed to share because it's...
Yeah.
you don't want to complain about your neighbor, but
Oh, well, sometimes you got.
Sometimes you need to.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if Trump is your neighbor, you're allowed to, complain as much as you want.
So when it goes too crazy, you look at the neighbor. Oh shit, he's gonna burn down my house.
There's a point where you're meant to be, kind of in your neighbor's business, because, like you said, if your fucking neighbor's house is on fire, you gotta start worrying if your house will catch on fire. Like, hey, listen, those flames are getting real close to my side of the fucking fence.
Exactly. Can you just fucking move away?
But that's why it's so important to be a community. Like, that's why it's like, listen, you can't just like duck your head and hide, especially now with everything going on in the world. Now's the time where if you have a goddamn voice, you should be using it like as much as you can. Whether it's to educate people, whether it's to just show up to protests, now more than ever, it's important to be present and be active and use a voice if you have one. Even if you don't, you scream as loud as you can to try and get people to hear you, to get people to listen.
And you're going to be faced with a lot of, opposition sometimes, which is okay. But I think it's important a lot of times. I know like Chaimber gets, he can get emotionally involved in conversations sometimes. It gets pretty fucking heated, But I always got to tell him, settle down. Don't get too emotional about it.
Yeah, it's important to stay keep your...
Yeah, you gotta have self-control. Because if they're already calling you a savage, dude, you don't want to just prove them right. Not right away.
I'll wait till the cameras are off.
Yeah, that's right. But so it's really hard. But you got to be able to put your emotions aside sometimes. I come out and I say some outlandish shit sometimes, but it's always calculated and it's intentional. If people, sometimes I do it just to provoke someone's reaction to get this conversation rolling.
Rage baiting.
And a lot of times I am rage baiting, but somebody has to do it to get conversations going. So you got to be wise when you're going to do stuff like that, because people are going to try and pick, and they're going to try and pick and pick and pick, and you got to keep your cool.
That's what I got to get better at. I'm very hot-headed. Someone gets spoken, I get very...
because the worst reply you could ever give somebody in an argument is fuck you.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing. You lost.
Yeah, you just quit.
If that's what you did, man, then don't tap out. Man, I'll start with fuck you and then start arguing with you. You know what I mean? And end with a smile and a blow you a kiss. So it's how it is. Yeah. And once you learn how to do that, it's really important. But, sometimes you got to provoke a conversation. That's fine. You got to know where the conversation should be had. Okay. I'm not sparking up any of these conversations while I'm drinking fucking 6 beers, sitting at the bar with strangers I don't know.
No, there's always a time and place for...
Yeah, because everybody's liquored up and it's a stupid place to bring up politics to begin with.
It's going to turn bad.
So
no one's going to remember anything.
No, and all you're going to know is you got a black eye in the morning when you wake up, and that's happened.
And then a phone call from the cops.
A lot of stuff that happens.
I need you to come down to the station.
Okay. Oh boy, it's not fun. It's not fun when you go down that route. And the worst feeling is when you're sitting back wondering, what the fuck did I say?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Shit. What did I say that time? So it's really tough, and we've all been there. That's normal. I don't know if it's normal, but it certainly happens, But I think it's important to be able to hold those conversations for a place that, it should be had. But the conversations do have to roll. I look at my boys, look, Chaimber, Jesus Christ, what have you done as a youngster? Now, this is a huge checklist. This is a huge checklist. He's 19 years old. Go ahead, check off some stuff.
So there was the Senegal trip in my grade 11 year. So we went over to Senegal, and we helped just renovate a basketball court and help repaint an orphanage within the village of Gandiaye. And it was amazing. What a great bunch of people. It was such a great time there. There was the Case Senior Leadership Conference, which took place in St. John's, New Brunswick, in my also grade 11 year. That was an amazing opportunity to learn just on that public speaking, how to work with people you just met as a team and to actually get your point across. Before that, the Undachi Endeavor in my grade 10 year. So the Undachi Endeavor was this program offered at Bishop's College School that I was fortunate enough to be able to take part in. And so what we did is we went to the Magpie River all the way up by Sept-Îles. And we met with the local indigenous population there as well. Innu. Yeah, the Innu the community there.
Maliuwitsinam or
No, not Maliuwitsinam.
Okay, the neighboring community.
But yeah, so then we went whitewater rafting on the descent down the Magpie River. It was a week long, if I remember correctly, and it was honestly one of the best experiences of my life. After that, but those are just like the trips and stuff. But just within the school itself, there's a bunch of different clubs and programs that you're able to take part in. That's everyone has access to as long as you work hard enough and you have that drive to do it.
Yeah. Outside of school.
Look,
you were just you were the front man for an organization. Was it last year?
Oh, for
Quebec.
Yeah,
with the AFNQL.
For the FNQL. Yeah.
What's that?
That was a lot of fun.
FNQL Fédération.
Yeah, it's the Assembly of First Nations of Quebec and Labrador.
Okay.
So they have different branches that come out of there for like social services and whatnot. So he was invited over to be the MC for like all the people from different nations, invited from different communities.
Yeah, that was also a very rewarding experience. It taught me a lot, especially working, with the veterans in the field. It was amazing. I was able to gain all that experience on how to, kind of navigate through a crowd, on how to work the crowd, when shit's not going to schedule. Just small talk with the crowd, or jokes here and there. It was a great experience then. But I'm very fortunate to have these opportunities and to have taken part of these, opportunities, thanks to that support system provided to me by not only my parents, but my grandparents, my brothers, my cousins. They're all there to help support me, and that's really important to me, and that's why more than anything, I want to be there to support them as well, and that's why, like I said, it's going back. In the end, it always ties back to community, because if you feel supported, you're going to want to support others the same way you felt, because you see the good it does, you see the difference it makes. And so, I was fortunate enough to gain all this experience, to have access to the opportunities. Yeah. And with that...
He's rapped on stage too.
That was also a very fun experience.
Did I?
You were DJing when we were in Maliuwitsinam for... Samian was there as well.
Was it at the... it was at
Innu
Nigamu.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
3 years ago.
Oh, yeah,
At
and
least
easy,
3 years
3,
ago.
4 maybe.
You were
grade.
what? How old were you? You were 19?
I'm 19 now. I think I was
so you
16.
were like-
16?
Yeah, I was
16.
16 when I went
Yeah,
up on
he's
stage.
16. He was out there rapping on the stage too.
That was a lot of
You
fun.
had another son too. You were there 2 sons.
Yeah, I had
Yeah,
two
Sean
boys
as
out
well.
there.
My youngest brother Sean was also on there.
Yeah.
How old was he? He's 14 now.
He was
Jeez.
like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
It's like this tall, I think.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
tall.
tell you what, but a lot more guts than I would have had at that age, going on stage rapping in front of all these
Oh, that's
people.
not true though, because you've been involved in a lot of school plays too over the years.
That was also
How many plays have you been involved in too? Like at not just BCS, at
North Hatley
North
Elementary
Hatley.
School. A few. I don't remember them all, except a good amount. But
They're pretty good with the stage there. It's important, right, to be able to speak in public.
Oh yeah, it's if you're comfortable on a stage, you should be comfortable to talk about something with someone without freaking wanting to fight them, and
Yeah,
like
and understanding like there's like a
control,
pocket of comfort in that.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, for sure.
there is. I much rather speak on a stage than like in a crowd with a bunch of people. You know what I mean? Like I'm
yeah.
you know, so like even in hockey, I played goal, right? So I'm on the team, but I'm watching.
Keeping a distance to observe.
Yeah, I'm still watching from a distance. You know, it's bring the puck to me. I don't want to go and get it. But so it's pretty cool. So if you support the kids, it's incredible the things they can do.
Yeah.
And I'm really a proud dad. I'm proud of you, and I love you. You know that. And so is your mother and your brothers and your cousins and everyone.
And in the end, it's not just me. I want to talk about my brothers, because my brothers and my sister Journey, they're doing some crazy shit. Like they're just going out and they're they're just tackling the full brunt of life. And honestly, they're kind of my inspiration to, you know, keep going and keep working harder. You know, I'll be looking at my eldest brother, Aiden, you know, U of T for law. You know, I see how hard he fucking studies and grinds. You know, when, you know, because we'll play a lot of video games. I play video games with my brothers all the time. You know, that's our gang. And that's also how a lot of us stay, you know, in touch when we're moving all over, you know. Both my older brothers are in Toronto. It's how we stay in touch. And so,
you play
know,
on
sometimes
on like whatever stream.
On Xbox. NHL 26. But what I'm saying, you know, like, so sometimes then we're like, can't play this week. I have to start studying. I'm like, all right, you know. So then I'm like, oh, he's really locked in. Liam got done Toronto Film School. With what, honors? Fucking killed that shit. Wow. And now he's doing he's going to school for weld inspecting. Yeah,
welding inspecting. It's some sort of nuclear plants and stuff like this. Like he'll never touch a welding machine in his life ever. But he's the guy that shows up with like a machine, like an MRI machine, to be able to check your welds.
Okay. And so he has to know like all the chemical compositions of the metal. Like he has to. He's doing. I think right now he's doing his chem courses, his physics.
It's
I see ways, you know, standing for that as well. More inspiration. Got to keep working. Not only that, my younger brothers, I get inspired by them as well. You know, it doesn't have to be my older brothers. Even Journey, geez, what she's doing with psychology and everything like that, and then going to get her master's. Like she's also grinding to get through that. But Atlas and Sean, Atlas, what's he doing now? He wants to do his Model UN stuff like that. Like he's.
He's tackling all kinds of stuff.
Sean's an athletic freak, just like Liam was. Sean's he's goalie for hockey at the same time. Outside of school, in school, he's playing basketball. The kid's just a little athletic freak, but like you know, it's
support and like
he jumps on stage too.
Sean jumps on stage and he kills it as well. Like that kid just has a confidence that you can't kill him. And honestly, I'm saying that's where I got my motivation from. Like he's so young, but he has the confidence. You'd think that you know no one can touch him, and so that's I'm like I need to get some confidence like that as well. You know, so
you get sometimes you see someone in your family, whoever that goes and achieves something. You're like, I can do it. You know, it's like seeing.
That's it. It's the community. You know, there's recently Phoenix is part of us now as well. So now he's learning that sense of community and stuff like that. You know, it's
so much.
It is great, that support system. That's why it's so important to have that. So it doesn't matter if they're not your family, right? Because oftentimes it comes to the family you choose, not the family you're born with. And honestly, I will take the family I choose over the family I'm born with 100% of the time. Because just because it's the family I choose, it doesn't mean I have to exclude the family I'm born with. No, I choose the family I'm born with just as much as I choose my best friends. You know, I consider them my family. That's the community. That's the support you need.
And it's cool, you know, and it's man, so different from when we're growing up, man. Like this video game shit, right? So we were brought up with the idea that get off those video games by our folks, right? So
go play outside, close the door. They would hide the thing.
Absolutely, man. It was freaking a once in a while thing, and you binged on that shit like it was a fucking drinking weekend, you know? and that was fun to do. But it's different when you look at the video games nowadays. And I've really laid off of my scrutiny of the video games because I see it keeps my kids together. You know, from a distance, and they're far off. I remember when I left home, I was 15, turning 16. Fuck, dude. It was tough to leave everybody, and there's no cell phone, no Facebook, nothing, you know?
Yeah, and you wouldn't so much call and like
it was expensive. Remember back then, so I moved to just outside of Toronto, and from the Gaspésie, it was way far, and it was expensive.
You didn't know he was there too.
Jesus Christ, man!
Are you there at 6 next week? Thursday, I'll call you.
Yeah, it was tough. I remember how tough it was, and so. Especially being away from your family, like I grew up in the community as well, so it was hard to have that disconnect, and then the cultural shock, of being in a white community. It's like holy shit! I know I'm white passing, I get that, but I'm from the res, you know, it's where I'm from, and so it'd just be very strange. So now it's like I let it let them go. Let them play. It's
like-
a little later, but let them go because I want them to be tight, right? And they're still supporting each other, and it's important.
And the video games is, it's what helped close that distance. But,
Yeah.
Video games aren't what they once were. Like, me, for example, I met some friends in South Carolina over Xbox.
Yeah.
I was a groomsman to the wedding of the friend I met online, who not once have I ever seen in person. I flew down to South Carolina one summer for his wedding because I was a groomsman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we played.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
It's nuts. We played.
We don't know
video-
that. Like, dude,
Yeah, because we played. We've been playing together online on the games and that for 7-8 years, if not more. Like, by that point, I knew where they lived. I knew their entire names. I knew their parents. Like, knew everything because. It's not how video games were then. Now you can talk to people from all over the fucking world on the video games, right? So that's both good and bad because you can either talk a whole bunch of shit to someone you're never gonna see, or you can play games. So I was invited over as a groomsman all the way in South Carolina. I was lodged by his family. Such good people. They were so hospitable. Like
that's so funny.
No, they were such good people to me. Like,
Coming from a gaming online friendship. It's like,
That's nuts. We couldn't believe it, and he's explaining that to me and Melissa. And we're like,
our parents would have been, don't go online. You
crazy.
don't know, don't know who you're talking to, or they was
you don't
online,
know.
but I mean,
As a matter of fact, I do know who I'm talking to. You know why? But that's why when I first brought it up to my parents, I did it when I was 18, when I knew that I'm an adult. I'm gonna go anyway. I'm letting y'all know. But I'm letting y'all know I'm going. But I remember explaining to them when I first, they were like, Mom, she was like, what? Fuck you mean you're going to South Carolina for these people that you met online?
in a
And I'm trying to
game.
explain like I'm not being catfished, I think. And I'm trying to explain listen, if they held up the ruse for 8 fucking years, they kind of deserve it at this point. Like, hey, they got me.
I'll go there.
Shit, hook, line, and sinker, they got me.
that's funny. Yeah, so it's a different world we're living in, so.
Totally. It's hard to understand sometimes, but I mean, if you listen, you're gonna understand.
Yeah, it's up to us to adapt, really. It's so hard. Gen Xers, man, we're sort of like, holy shit, what is this shit?
It's true. It's like I'm looking. My parents had to adapt to computers, to getting their receipt bank online instead of print, and so they had to adapt to our new things. So I guess we have to adapt to the new things.
Yeah. And it's
what it is.
It's
It's
tough
adapt.
sometimes. Holy jeepers. And oh my God, it's incredible. I see with the 2 younger ones with Sean and Phoenix.
Yeah.
Those kids get ready to go to school in the morning. I swear to God, put such a dent in the ozone layer with the different products they're spraying on their bodies. The smell, it just smells like a tramp. It's just insane. And you can see the ozone layer thinning.
Falling
It's
down.
unreal, man. So
Birds
it's just
are dying around the house.
it's so crazy. It's so crazy, man. Like we never did that growing up. You're lucky if
My
we put on a
girlfriend's
speed
kids
stick.
are like, hey, can you buy me a spray net, and like, oh, you mean the stuff my mother would work when she go work in the office? I want to put my hair and I want them to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's just part of the shift because now, we're a generation a lot more of self-care. We have a lot more emphasis and points on self-care. Your skincare routine, your hair, how you smell, especially. Have you washed your ass? And if not, please go do it because trust me, we smell it. It fucking stinks. You can tell, especially when you're out in public on a bus when someone just with their legs wide open. You can tell when they didn't wash their ass because it just smells like. There's a lot more emphasis on self-care. If you ain't clean, you're gonna be called on it. People,
no, but in our days it was like everybody was dirty.
Yeah,
like,
man.
My friend had shit in their face. Where we're
from the grunge era, dude.
Yeah,
Are you
everything
kidding me?
was like it was no care. Like
no more. Nowadays it's Sabrina Carpenter.
Some kids, my girlfriend's kids are in elementary, and it's.
Yeah. It's amazing. I see Sean's the youngest one. He's been like that for several years now.
Yeah.
He's only 14.
Yeah.
You know, putting different products. Everyone's like, Dad, I need this. He's got in tablet. He's got he's got a shelf
in his room.
He looks like Brian Fantana from The Anchorman, the movie. You know, this one's made of real tiger bits or something.
60% of the time, it works all the time. I don't think that math's adding up.
That's great, man. So it's so funny, but that is Sean, man. It's so funny. But Phoenix too,
okay,
Phoenix is the same
for
thing.
new generation, it's like I think
It's
the
good.
New generation are a lot more open and
I think we're pretty open as parents too, because if I would have told my dad, wait a few minutes, I haven't plucked my eyebrows yet, he'd say, I'm about to fucking give you a black eye, forget your eyebrows. You know,
you're gonna lose all your eyebrows in the next 5 seconds.
Yeah, I can do that with one swing. You know, that shit wasn't happening, you know? He wasn't listening to that shit.
Oh, no, man.
But so it's a different world, but it's cool. They're beautiful. And it's okay. You got to feel beautiful, and you got to do the things to you know, just enjoy life. And that's I love that when Chaimber and I were in the hot tub, you know, last week, and we're just talking about it. And I love to hear what they're doing, what their plans are. And you know, I know how excited he is about the carpentry thing, and then getting into the workforce and moving out over. And then he's telling me about, you know, the plans after that. It's like, okay, make a little bit of coin, and then, you know, join fire. But tell me more about that.
Okay, so basically, all right, so my plan at the moment, I get done school in like 12 school days, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm an apprentice first year. What I plan to do is I plan to work in the commercial sector until I'm around, you know, an apprentice second year. Then I want to switch to the residential sector for my third year apprenticeship until I'm a journeyman. And once I'm a journeyman, I plan to work maybe you know, like 2 years, you know, hard work, make that coin. And after that, what I really want to do, what's been like really been calling to me for a few months now, I want to become a wildland firefighter in BC.
Oh yeah.
It's just, personally, it's what's really interesting me, because the one part, you know, it gives me like a purpose, a sense of purpose. You know, I mean, I'm going out to fight these fires so that the damage doesn't spread. Not only that, I'm also there studying fires, controlled, you know, wildfires to take out the shrubs and dead leaves on the ground. And at the same time, I'm in the British Columbia, you know, woods, wilderness, you know, beautiful. I get to
in Canada.
Yeah, I get to work in the woods. I love being in the woods, being in nature. That's where I feel most at peace and most comfortable. I get to hike all this stuff. And
something is so beautiful.
What I'd really like to be, if everything was, I'll see, you know, as the years go on, if I still have the same mentality once I reach the end. But I feel pretty confident in saying this. But what I'd like to be after wildland firefighting is hopefully I'd be able to become a smoke jumper.
What's that?
A smoke jumper, or like the specialization of like wildland firefighter who jump out of the planes with, you know.
Oh yeah.
It's like emergency response to wildland firefighters. It's like just happened. Like we need people there. They send the planes over, or if it's like too hard to access by other means of transportation. They fly the planes over, you jump out your fucking plane, and you parachute down to go fight the fires. And that just seems so cool to me. It's just so fun.
That's some crazy
like you shoot
stuff.
you down with a generator and a water pump and go.
Yeah, that's right.
Wrong backpack. I got you.
You're gonna pick me back.
But that's what's like. It seems so interesting to me. And then you know, I'd love to learn how to do all that as well. You know.
Yeah.
So that's fucking exciting shit, man.
Yeah.
That makes me excited, you know? I ain't jumping out of no plane, but that shit's crazy. I did that a long time ago. I ain't doing that no more. But so it's super cool. And I think that's worth mentioning too, you know, like I know I put a lot of emphasis on education for the kids and making sure they have that support to move forward and get that, you know, their life straight with that stuff. But there's a huge element in the upbringing of my children tied to the cultural aspects of things, you know? Fishing, the hunting, the harvesting, doing the weird shit, you know what I mean? Like making sinew out of the ligaments and whatnot.
That was
and
a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I've always kept them busy in that, treating the skins. Like he's done, I got pictures of Chaimber when he's a kid, fleshing pelts and stuff and doing all of that stuff. And it's really, really important.
Oh yeah, it's important for sure.
So there's that balance, right? You need the education, but you also need to know how to, take care of your own self when you're out in the woods. Something bad happens, you need to be able to provide. You run out of money.
One thing as a parent you want is to know that if you die tomorrow, your kids are gonna be okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, they're gonna be able
that's the plan,
function.
right?
And if you're in a solid community, well, you're like kind of have a little safety net. They won't be alone. There's gonna be they're gonna keep learning stuff and whatever. Like that's. Or else it's selfish. You're like, I die, I don't want, I die, my kids are gonna, they won't do nothing. They won't.
Yeah, they got to know how to take care.
Yeah, like keep going.
And it's a means of connection too, right? So when we go catch fish and whatnot, we bring them to, the elders, Uncle Morris, Uncle Harry, Uncle Danny, Uncle Edward, Auntie Irene, Auntie Mary when she was around. And then there's other elders in the community we share with as well outside of the family. It's important to do.
Yeah, for both, for the young and for the elder.
Yeah, because that's a lesson on its own.
See the young likes to see the,
that's a lesson on its own.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. And even with, his grandmother, my mom, you know what I mean? So she likes to give him a hard time all the time. She loves the kids to death.
You like to give her a hard time too.
I do give her a hard time.
I give her a hard time as well. So it's fair. It's reciprocated.
My poor mother's had to put up, between me and Travis, Jesus Christ, my brother Travis, when the two of us were up ape shit. Fuck, man, I tell you what, that poor mother of mine. But she's well taken care of.
He's tough.
She is tough. Yeah, she is tough, man.
She's tough on her own. Tell you what, though, especially now, ain't no one fucking with her with the entourage of. We have a whole platoon.
Absolutely,
of boys. Even excluding the girls, just a whole platoon of boys. Even including the girls, they don't fuck around either.
The girls will give you an ass kicking too. Liv can throw a punch and.
Liv can throw a punch.
Yeah, Jesus, yeah.
They're all big.
Yeah, and they're all big boys. Travis's son's a big boy too. Holy shit. Yeah. So it's
that's what you want.
So it's a lot of fun, but we try and keep the family tight and the best we can. We move forward and keep the community strong. Let's go. Oh, one more story. I know the time is ticking and Chamber's got some plans.
Chamber's got
some plans. Yeah, we're in Montreal right now, and that boy's got some plans. He wants he's got things to do. But if we could finish up on something, man, I would love you to tell the story about your first moose shot.
Oh yeah. Want to hear that?
Start to beginning. I'm gonna let you tell that story all the way through.
Oh yeah.
Pitch in if you see me missing anything. I'll do my best.
Okay.
So, what was it? Last year.
Yep.
Last year, November. Me, my dad, and my two older brothers, Liam and Aiden, we were the only ones who had the time off. So, we're the ones who will go hunting, right? I'm like, all right. I don't remember the last time where it was just me, my older brothers, and my dad, right? So it was great. I'm excited. We head down. And so we get down to SPC, we get the guns ready, sighted and everything like that. Boom. Up in the mountains. We're getting ready to hunt. We're hunting. We're actively hunting. And we couldn't have asked for better conditions. Jeez, it was a beautiful hunting season. We've seen lots of activity. It's cold, so the moose are moving.
Yeah.
So finally, we spot a moose, right? And we were following it for a little bit. We were tracking it. So finally, we come off to the side. We park the vehicles, grab the guns, grab the ammo. It's perfect. We're downwind from the moose. It cannot smell us. We're quiet. It has no idea we're there. The conditions are perfect, right?
I know something's coming.
So, I'm driving one of the cars. My dad's driving the other, right? Park the cars. We hop out. I lock the door from the inside and close it, right? Just out of habit. I'm always locking the doors when I leave the car out in public. Why wouldn't I change it in the mountains, in the middle of fucking
middle of the
2-hour drive up into the mountains, right?
A stealing bobcat or whatever.
Yeah. And, in case a bobcat wants to steal the vehicle. So then Liam comes like, I left my gloves in the car. Can you unlock it? I'm like, yeah, no problem. Grab the keys. I fucking misclicked. I clicked on the lock again. And you know what happens when you click on lock again? Beep, beep. And I swear, in the middle of the mountains, we're the only ones there.
There's echo for 10 minutes.
There is snow everywhere. Snow collects sound, right?
Yeah.
Holy... beep, beep. That's all you hear for kilometers. I'm standing, right? Holding the keys in my hand. I'm basically, okay, so we have the Bronco, the Jeep's there. I'm on the right side of the Bronco. My dad's on the left side. Car's over there. Liam's walking over. He's at the door. Aiden's behind me to the right. Beep, beep. I am stuck. I am frozen in place. The way my dad whipped around the corner of the car and is looking at me in my soul.
With the gun or?
No, Jesus, almost. I haven't seen that face of anger on my father since when I was a kid getting my ass whipped because I threw my shoes at my elementary school teacher. That was the last time I saw that
you
face.
idiot? Or he just...
No, what he said is, what the fuck are you doing? I'm still standing there. Liam is cramped over laughing. Aiden's cramped over. I start losing my shit. We all lose our shit laughing. What I say immediately after I lock the car, beep, beep. I turn and look at my brothers, my dad. You think it heard that? The fucking moose has ears about 2 kilometers high and 3 kilometers wide.
And it's standing 6 feet high.
Its ears are literally like this. You think it heard that? Honestly, I would be surprised if a deaf person heard it in that quiet, right? So now, we're still walking. We're still going to see if there's a chance to track it because maybe you didn't hear it. That moose fucking packed camp and was gone. It's in Florida now on vacation.
Not only a cracking sound, it's a beep beep of a fucking car.
This is still just the first day. This is the first day. Trust, there's more to come. So now we're, walking with the guns. We cannot shut up. We can't stop wheezing and laughing. It'll be quiet for 2 seconds, then you hear like the quiet, and then you just and then you fucking cramped over wheezing. Liam's at the back of the line. We're in single file. My dad's leading on behind my dad in behind me because I was the one that was going to shoot the moose if we see it. So I'm behind him with the gun. Obviously unloaded, pointing at the ground. Safety comes first. Liam's at the back. Fuck, he can't stop laughing. He just drops, says, "Go on without me." Oh my God, we have the video of it. It was over. That was the first day. Next, I'll talk about the hallucinations next. So, I was so sleep deprived, I started hallucinating in the mountains. I was so tired that my dad's driving, I'm in the passenger seat, all right? We have the gun by the leg in case we have to hop out quick, shoot a moose, all right, We're driving, and all of a sudden, I feel like I'm in and out of it. I'm trying to stay, awake. Yeah. All of a sudden, turn to my dad, I said, "Someone lives up here?" My dad turns to me and he's driving, like, what the fuck are you talking about? I had hallucinated a whole stone gateway with a whole fucking mansion.
With an address and everything.
It was so real though. That's now like when I see like in movies, people eat sand thinking it's water. I'm like, oh, that's stupid. Why'd they ever do it? I understand now. It was so real. A whole stone gateway with a driveway leading up to a house. I'm like, who lives up here? And then so now he's looking at me like I'm on drugs, like I'm crazy. I'm like, oh my God. And okay. So then a little while passes, right? Then I hear my dad, stop. And then he hits the brakes, like, what's up? I'm like, there's a tree full of partridge. Not a damn partridge on that tree. It was an empty tree, not even leaves on that thing. We're in the November. Oh my God, I saw a tree full of partridge.
Oh, fuck.
So now my brothers are making fun of me. They're saying I'm gonna hop out the car. I just start shooting in the air, shooting fucking Yosemite Sam out in here. But anyway, so that was the hallucinations. But it was so real, I couldn't stop hallucinating. It was awful until I went. The moment I got home, I went to bed. I needed to sleep.
No, that's scary. Like,
right. And so now it brings
it's when
us.
you drive too long and you hallucinate shit.
Luckily I wasn't driving, but I saw he was getting worried because then we had 2 guns. We had the 308 and 30-06. I was gonna use the what was it? The 308 I had next to me, right? Yeah. After my hallucinations, he got the 30-06 ready in case he needed to shoot because he didn't trust me. In case I was still tripping, I couldn't take the shot. He was going to shoot over.
That was not the move.
Exactly. So now it takes us to when we actually got the moose. So what happens is...
No, there was one more event.
Okay, yeah. Same day, but yeah, okay, yeah.
On the same day after that, remember we went all the way down this other sector? We come across and we parked the vehicle again. Yeah. And we started walking up the bank. And then your brothers were still in the vehicle. And I said, they're right there. So I said, come with me. So we climb up the hill. We get there. And I swear to God, 50 feet. Look at this motherfucker. Yeah, 50 feet away from us. These moose are there. So they're standing up, and he's like, "You guys ready?" I said, "Get ready to shoot these." The one moose, right? So there's a moose and the cow. Like the bull and the cow is right there. So he gets ready, 50 feet away. His fucking arms are going all over. I said, "What the fuck are you doing?" I said, "Shoot him." And he says, "I can't see him." I said, "You can't see him. He's 50 feet in front of you."
You're going like this.
How can't you see the fucking moose? He's right there. But the snow was coming down and it was real close, and he was just
I couldn't find him in the snow with the magnification.
Like you see him, but then you're like,
can't-
where am I?
We were too close to the moose.
I could have thrown the bullet at him.
Yeah. So now the moose he realizes something wrong and starts fucking going away. So I let out a call and I start calling him. This fucking guy just starts laughing now. Like, so he's just, the gun is going like this. He can't shoot because the sound of the call is making him giggle.
Because I'm justified. I'm going to do it. Listen, imagine this. I'm trying to find because, tensions are high. The reason I was already laughing is because I feel my dad getting frustrated that I'm not shooting the fucking moose that's only 50 feet away. And so my gun's moving, snow's coming out. I can't find him in the sight. I start panicking because it's going to get moving. My dad's going to get yelling at me. I need to fucking
you're like,
yeah, I got to line this shot up and take it. And so I'm getting ready. The moose starts to go. Then I just hear my dad say, "Come on, shoot him." Then I hear my dad's call. I fucking lose it. You expect me to aim steady after hearing that?
Yes,
I just hear now I'm losing it. I'm laughing. My gun's all over the place. It's more funny by the fact that I know my dad's getting pissed and I'm like, oh shit, I'm so done.
I was like, all right, fuck it. You fucked it up again. Get in the car.
Get in the car. And that's when he had the gun ready. He said, no way is a chance like that getting passed on again.
I was like, there's no chance this is gonna happen again. We crawled right up on him. Wind in our favor and everything. Now I'm just like, I'm praying to the creator that he just drop a moose in the back of my truck, So we fucking go all the way down. I said, we're going to go across onto another sector. We're going to pull around this corner. We'll park there and we'll walk down. We come around. What happens, Chaim?
So a fucking moose jumps out right in front of the truck. Right in front of the truck. We slam the brakes. I jump out. I got that fucking gun cocked. Yeah. I ain't messing up this time. I get that bitch in my sights. Bang! Instantly, first shot go flying out. And now the moose is like, took it. I see it hit it, but now he's like swaying. He's not going down.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, shit. So right away, I rechamber the next round. Yeah. And then my dad is telling me.
So I just tell him, because he hit him. I said, if you're not sure, you can pull again, Yeah. But I said, no, if you're not sure, shoot again. As soon as I could say, shoot, boom.
Because all I heard was shoot again. So I didn't hear that. I was so focused on that all I heard
was no if you're not sure.
I had it rechambered. I had him back in my sights again, and I'm waiting. I'm engaging. And then all I hear out of my left ear is shoot, bang. Immediately, I wasn't messing it up this time. However,
after 4 times, you're like, he's gotta go down.
So, listen to this, though.
You might not believe it, but it does get dumber. So, next shot I send out, immediately the moose drops. But immediately. I'm like, all right, now I know I've got him for sure. I'm using the 308, okay, with regulations. It can hold 3 rounds in its chamber. One in the chamber, 2 in the mag, in the tube. And so I only had 2 bullets loaded. You know why? They were both silver. So I only loaded 2 silver bullets. I'm like, oh, it's fair enough. Well, guess what? Turns out this bull had a lady friend, because then a fucking cow comes out of the woods, right?
Check on
and we like, it may be 10 feet from us.
Yeah, she can't charge it.
It's a moose, okay? It's huge, all right? So then it's like trying to gauge, and then it looks like she's getting ready to charge. And I'm like, oh. So I see my dad like, get the gun ready. I go, I'm out of bullets.
I said, what?
He's like, what do you mean you're out of bullets? You only shot twice.
I
had
twice.
the other bullets in the truck that was maybe 25 feet behind us.
Oh, fuck.
So now I'm shit out. We don't have any bullets in the gun. So now we're just praying the moose doesn't fucking charge us because I'll have to hit it. My dad was the one in danger. He was the one closest. I was behind the car. So now I'm like, oh shit, is this how dad dies? I'm like, because I didn't load another fucking round. And
You probably end up on the moose.
because I decided to load 2 silver bullets like it's a fucking werewolf to take down this moose.
That's right.
We're going to werewolf.
I thought we were shooting werewolves.
But anyway, so then the moose, finally it sees the bull on the ground, the blood, and then it falls, it panics, it shocks. Then it's getting ready to charge, but then it books it through the woods.
Yeah.
It was close. Like, close enough that
dude, we dropped that right there. That was a good shot. He didn't fuck it up that time. Third time was the charm.
Yeah, but it was close enough where I knew that either I'm not gonna get yelled at, or I'm gonna be in deep shit. Because either I'm not gonna get yelled at because you'll be in the ER, or I'm gonna be in deep shit.
it's extreme one.
It was good, and that moose was delicious.
Well, finally the moose.
It's a delicious moose.
You deserved it.
Loading it was a funny story.
I don't know if you deserved it or absolutely not.
But I was so mad with myself. I was because you got to take into account all hunting seasons prior to this, we caught fuck all. Yeah, we didn't even see much activity.
That was at the end of the season.
Yes.
At the end of the week.
Yeah. So this hunting season, we see activity all over the place. So to have such, it's literally golden opportunities. That's what they were. To have such golden opportunities and to throw them out the window, I was like, oh my God.
My dad and family went in Abitibi, and there's moose, but I'm listening to you guys talk, and I'm like, there's a moose there, there's a moose there, there's a moose there, a moose come out, second wolf,
dude,
second moose come out.
Man, we were fortunate. We were
very lucky.
Yeah, we were just really fortunate.
I think there's more moose in Gesgapegiag than in Abitibi or something.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but there's a really healthy population of moose in the guy. We've seen it go down a bit in different sectors, but yeah, it's still beautiful. It's still got a nice healthy population. So it's good.
Less hunter. I don't know if they're less hunter.
Oh no, there's a lot of hunters.
There's a lot of hunters.
I think in the Gesgapegiag they take down somewhere in the range of 5,000 moose
per
hunting season. Yeah, that's a non-native hunter.
Wow.
Yeah, our community we take about I would say about maybe 60 moose in our community. We'll take down. Gesgapegiag, I'm not sure what their numbers are. I'm not sure what Gesgapegiag is either. But I know in our community is about 60.
There's a outfitter and stuff there that's an American can pay expensive.
There is the Dunier. There's So there's some pretty good outfits over there.
But definitely a hunting trip to remember. So my first moose, November 12th.
You're like
day I shot it, November 12th. So first moose, and hell, I made one amazing story.
At your birthday?
Trip.
What? It was your birthday?
No, November 12th. That's the date that I got my first moose.
Yeah. It's like your birthday.
Yeah. It was super cool. I was really happy he got his moose,
It's kind of
man.
like your birthday.
Oh, yeah, I was ecstatic, especially because I was so upset about the other chances. I needed that.
It's lucky you ended up with the moose. Because you'd probably feel so much problem. Probably not
I'd
walk
never live it
anymore.
down. I would never live it down.
You wouldn't be here.
His brothers would have been roasting him so hard.
And there wouldn't be anything I could say back because what would I say? I fucked it up. That's on me. I can't say anything.
Oh, that was a good story. Seriously, That
so that was a lot of fun. So I think that we're okay to wrap things up.
No, we can do that, and we can come back with some more stuff. If people wanna,
Sounds good. Yeah, man. Yeah. And we'll be back doing some other stuff. Thanks, Chaim, for coming on.
Of course, thanks so much for having me on for the first official podcast of the Q-Niverse.
Yeah.
It's dope.
We're going to have some fun with it.
Yeah.
And you'll be back again, that's for sure. I certainly want to get a podcast of few of yous here at the same time.
It'd be nice to get all
it should come once a while when
a whole bunch of
we
them.
just start chirping one another.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah,
but that's okay. That's
no
healthy.
rules.
Yeah, there's no real rules here.
We're the rules.
Yeah, that's right. And I hope people enjoyed the first podcast. Don't really know what we're doing yet, but we're here to have a good time. We're going to talk about a bunch of different things. This is the introduction to what you can anticipate to see. And that's it.
Yeah.
This camera.
So it's right there right now.
Yep, the Q-Niverse Show.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for tuning in. I hope we had a great time. We had a great time. I know that. Up no multas. Peace.
I speak the truth and everybody knows. When you press play, it's educational. They wanna shut me down with their fucking po-po. Restrict me from their radios.